I believe that women have a hard time connecting with male perspectives. They look at the male perspective as potentially wrong and the female perspective as right, no matter what the perspective is. And I'll prove it to you. A lot of these people tout Shonda Rhimes as one of a great black creator. And I think she's very talented. But does Shonda Rhimes really present black people in a great light? Does she even present people in a great light? Does she present women in a great light? Half of Shonda Rhimes' characters are weak. They present one perspective. The women are extremely intelligent and powerful up until the point where a man is involved. These women are the weakest when it comes to men. Men tear them down to their knees. They can't go on. Their love lives are in shambles. Everything else in their life is perfect. Grey's Anatomy, beautiful home, great job, attendants, surgeons, top of their game. Geniuses. Worst love lives in the world. Now let's look at the male perspectives on Grey's Anatomy. Has there ever been one non-womanizing man on Grey's Anatomy? What up, y'all? I figure I'd take a swig of this gallon jug of water to pretend like I've been healthy during this quarantine. Nah, I've been drinking Pepsi all day. But I'm starting today off right. So, listen, I had to, if you guys don't know, I'm Justin Brandon, a.k.a. No Justin, No Peace. I have a podcast, Kent's Podcast, which we review entertainment, like movies and television. We talk about is me, myself, No Justin, No Peace, and my bro, Lou Rivers. And I just had to come down and just do an impromptu sit down with you guys because I'm fired up. While I'm home, I'm watching a lot of content as much as I can. Also trying to get some work done, some work in the house. But I started watching Black AF on Netflix. I was really excited when it came out. I saw the commercials for it. Kenya Barris I find to be really interesting. I really enjoy Blackish. I'm able to watch it with my family. My wife and I watch Grownish, like, faithfully. It's two shows that we watch together most of the time. There's Grownish and Insecure. We both agree on both of those shows, so those are the shows that we definitely have to sit down and watch together. Also like Mixed Dish. Got a whole bunch of them saved. I haven't gone through all of them. But Kenya Barris, I find to be really interesting. I think he's a good writer. He puts together good teams. So I'm like, you know what? I want to see what he's going to do over at Netflix. Like Rashida Jones. Boom. Checked it out. First episode. It was a little interesting to get into because you had to get to the flow of it. It's a mockumentary style situation. Plus, he's the main character. He's the main performer. And then as I slowly got into it, I was watching it originally with my wife, and then I went on to watch it by myself. By the third episode, my stomach was hurting. I was belly aching, laugh out loud, LOL, LAMFO, all of that. Continuing laughing throughout the show. I started to fall in love with the show. But before I continued on, I started going on different pages and seeing what the reviews were about it. And I mean, people were tearing this show down. And this was probably when I was only like the second episode in. So I wasn't sure. I'm like, well, what did they see that I didn't see? Let me continue. And so this whole time I'm trying to figure out why these people are tearing the shows down. But then I start to break down people's language and their verbiage. You know, one of the things that they had a problem with is they saying that Kenya Barris seems to always hire light-skinned actors. We know colorism is a thing. We know it's a thing in Hollywood. We know Hollywood seems to prefer light-skinned black people. If you're going to not be white, you need to be light-skinned. These shows are about his family. Blackish, Grownish, all of them are speaking from a perspective that he knows well. And they're emulating his family. He has a light-skinned family. It's as simple as that. I look at Blackish, and I think that Blackish is a great perspective of a family that has means. it harkens back to the Cosby Show. And I wonder if these same people who are tearing down Blackish, if they were their age they are now when the Cosby Show came out, would they even like it? Because it hits all the same notes. And then I had to look at all the shows that they tout as some of their favorite shows. Martin, some of their favorite comedies. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They say some of their favorite shows because they're like, that's really the black perspective. That's really a black show. And so I break it down. So what's the main difference between these different shows? Okay, Family Matters. Regular family, working family. Father's a cop, so he's a worker. He's an hourly worker. I'm not sure what the mother did. Kids are in school. Regular schools, let's say regular public schools, a decent family house. They live in decent, but the Aunt Judy lives there because she lost her husband, is there, so she's a single mother. So it's like, okay, so fine, we consider that the black family, black perspective. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, family of means who has to take in their nephew who's getting in trouble in the rough streets of Philadelphia. So his mother sends him off to Beverly Hills, where he'll be safe. I mean, are we thinking about the undertone of this? He had to leave his community, leave his mother behind to be safe from the community who is predominantly, he had to leave the community of people who predominantly look like him to go to a community of people who mostly don't look like him for him to be safe. Family Matters. It seems like people identify more with struggle. They consider the black experience to actually just be the struggle experience. When the truth is, if you go to some of these college campuses like Howard, Hampton, you're going to see more people who are like Blackish and the Cosbys than a lot of other things. There are black families who can pay a full ride for their kids. These things exist, people. They exist. Now, we say that we want a balance. We want to see all of black experiences. But why, when it comes to black experiences that are black experiences of means, people who have the ability to purchase and to buy and to have access, that's not really black. That's not really black. And then we go to the colorism aspect. Fine, okay. Colorism is real. But I think we need to take it back to why it exists in the first place. Colorism was a tactic of division. That's all it was. If you separate these people with this hue and these people with this hue, they will start to have issues with each other. Each other. So the fact is, now we come to a show like Blackish, and we come to a show like Black AF on Netflix, and people are like, Rashida Jones, she's not even black. What is that? What does that even mean? Do you mean that black means that you're completely from Africa and none of your genetic code has been infused with anything of European descent? I have to tell you that right now. If you live in America, that's not you, bro. We all got some European blood in it. Whether it's 2%, 3%, or 50%, whatever it is, we all have some European blood in us. Especially if you're an African American who's a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade, there's some European blood in you. So what is your purity test? What percentage do you have to be considered black? And the fact that we even have to have this discussion means that Master is winning because the division continues. People out here boosting up Tracee Ellis Ross. Nobody's saying Tracee Ellis Ross ain't black. But then, on the other hand, they're like, Rashida Jones, is she really black? What's the difference between their origin? Tracee Ellis Ross, Diana Ross is her mother, and her father was a white man. Rashida Jones, her father was Quincy Jones, and her mother was a white woman. What's the difference, y'all? Y'all not even holding the same standard. because there is no standard. None of that matters. You lost all the nuance of the show. And I'm convinced half of these people who have an issue with Black Ass AF, one, didn't watch the show, or two, I feel like a lot of people aren't connecting with the show because they have a hard time with connecting with perspectives other than their own. One of my favorite artists is Spike Lee. But in the past couple of years, Spike Lee has gotten a lot of flack, especially when the show came out, She's Gotta Have It on Netflix. People started talking about his perspective on women, how he presents women in his films, and how he presented women from his original movie, and he's even talked about it. But they started to hate on one of the greatest creators, one of the greatest filmmakers. And then I started seeing where these voices were coming from, and they were primarily women of color voices. I believe that women have a hard time connecting with male perspectives. They do not understand the difference that lies between a male perspective and a female perspective. They look at the male perspective as potentially wrong and the female perspective as right, no matter what the perspective is. And I'll prove it to you. A lot of these people tout Shonda Rhimes as one of a great black creator. And I think she's very talented. But does Shonda Rhimes really present black people in a great light? Does she even present people in a great light? Does she present women in a great light? Half of Shonda Rhimes' characters are weak. They present one perspective. The women are extremely intelligent and powerful up until the point where a man is involved. These women are the weakest when it comes to men. Men tear them down to their knees. They can't go on. Their love lives are in shambles. Everything else in their life is perfect. Grey's Anatomy, beautiful home, great job, attendants, surgeons, top of their game. Geniuses. Worst love lives in the world. Now let's look at the male perspectives on Grey's Anatomy. Has there ever been one non-womanizing man on Grey's Anatomy? Every man that comes through Grey's Anatomy is a womanizer. Now granted, I don't care that that's the perspective that she wants to present, but let's not tout it as if she's presenting these positive lights of people and even or the black or brown characters. She's not. So to compare her to a Kenya Barris is unfair. It's just unfair. It's actually ridiculous. There is a nuance to the show Black AF that people are totally missing. There is a balance that happens when you watch all 10 episodes that people have totally missed. At the last episode, Kenya Barris basically goes to his knees and lets his wife know that he has been wrong this whole time. He has been self-centered. He has been acting like a dick. And he says that. He realizes that he has not been thinking about all the sacrifices that his wife has made. And that this is the opportunity for him to support the one thing that she has wanted to do, because she has put herself on the back burner from the beginning. She has supported him in his career. She was the financial breadwinner. She made a way for him to be able to be the creative that he is today. But somehow, that's all lost. That's a beautiful concept, a beautiful idea. But I feel that it's possible that it's lost on a lot of women because they cannot imagine the perspective of a male being different. They only identify with the perspective of a character from Grey's Anatomy. They only identify with the perspective of Olivia Pope, who is a tragedy. Olivia Pope? That's y'all queen? That's y'all king? That's a balanced person? Olivia Pope, who was obviously this mastermind, this individual that can get anything done because she plays chess to the T, has a tragic relationship with her mother and her father. Her father is both of them killers. And guess what Olivia Pope's kryptonite is? This affluent white male president. She's weak. She does stupid things. This genius of a woman turns to an idiot in 12 seconds. Not just that, she's a home wrecker. But yeah, Shonda Rhimes likes to present, we're going to leave her in charge of presenting the beauty of black women in all its levels. Come on, y'all. You don't got to watch the show. You don't got to give it a chance. You don't got to watch it. But I'm telling you right now, most of these people who are giving their opinions on the show, a lot of them didn't watch it. A lot of them didn't watch it. There are a number of nuance and great conversations that happen throughout this show that have never happened on Grey's Anatomy, that have never happened on How to Get Away with Murder, that have never happened in an Ava DuVernay movie or show. Never. That have never happened in any of these great creators that people are touting. That have never happened on Insecure, and that is my shit. But they don't have to happen on Insecure. They don't have to happen on Scandal or Grey's Anatomy or How to Get Away with Murder. They don't have to. Because as creators and as people of color, we should have the right to create. And that's it. Create. And without people putting their bias and judgment on it. Because what's happening with Kenya Barris is people are projecting. They're projecting their issues with color. They're projecting their issues with their own color. They're projecting their ideas of colorism onto an individual that nobody knows what his feelings are on these situations. But when I see Blackish, and when I see this man get $100 million deal at Netflix, I'm going to support his ass the same way that I'm supporting Tyler Perry, the same way I'm supporting Ava DuVernay, and the same way I'm supporting Childish Gambino. I'm going to give it a chance. If I don't like it, I don't like it. But I'm not going to be a hypocrite about it. I'm coming with the same objectivity that I approach any other piece of material. Any other piece of material. If it's good, it's good. If it ain't, it ain't. If it's interesting, it's interesting. If it's not, it's not. And some of you guys, you lose all credibility when your favorite show is Greenleaf. I'm sorry. You lose credibility when your favorite show is House of Pain. I'm sorry. You lose that credibility to say this is a good show and that's not a good show. You lose the credibility because there are some basic points that make things good, well put together. Black AF is a well put together show. You don't have to like the content. But what you can't say is it ain't a well put together show. You can't say it ain't a well written show. And it's a damn fucking entertaining show. That's my opinion on it. It's an entertaining show. But guess what? My opinion is coming from a person who actually enjoys cinema, a person who actually enjoys TV, a person who actually watches the things that I talk about. Not just talking about it for the sake of talking about it. And that's the only reason why I'm doing this video, because I'm realizing that people are just talking about it for the sake of talking about it. And people don't realize that a lot of these people are lying. A lot of these people are just presenting an attitude because they know that it's going to hit the algorithm. And that shit is whack, yo. It's whack. I'm watching some of these reviewers out here, and they're tearing down one show to lift up another. They hypocrites. They got no objectivity. None. None at all. My wife loves Grey's Anatomy. It's not my favorite show. But I respect how it's put together. And I can jump in and feel connected with the characters. I can. It's just not the content that I enjoy watching all the time. But it's a damn good put together show. Now, all the characters balanced? No, they're not. Everybody's weak for love. But that's the perspective. That's what the show is about. People who have it together but don't have it together in their love life. That's the perspective of the show. People who got their shit together but don't got their shit together. And Black AF is an exploration of black affluence. But not just black affluence from the perspective of a person who came from not being affluent to being affluent. And what that means for the environment that his children are in the environment that he is in the rooms that he is in the perspective and the way they look at him and his family. Exploring the ideas of overconsumption and consumerism. What the fuck were y'all watching? Because shit is being explored. The medicine is in the fucking candy. Laughs, laughs, laughs. Exploration is there. Laughs, laughs. Exploring ideas of marriage. What does it mean to have 6 children? What does that mean to have 6 children for a mother? Not from the perspective of the father. For a mother, what does that do to her? How does that weigh on her? Taking the responsibility of being the sole, one of the main people who are taking care of the children, pushing those children out, and then raising them. What does that mean? And then feeling like you're losing yourself. Feeling like you're losing who you are. Because you were a whole person before you had these children. You had plans. And then your spouse is able to realize who they wanted to be, who you guys talked about being together. They got the opportunity to realize that. And while they're realizing it, you're losing yourself. And then all you're asking is just help me realize me now that the kids are getting older. And the person being oblivious. And then ultimately realizing how much of an asshole they were for being oblivious. And saying, I'm sorry. Reconciliation. What fucking show were y'all watching? I seen a black man saying, I'm humbly coming to my wife and saying, I done messed up. My bad, baby. We were supposed to be in this shit together, and while I was focusing on me, I forgot about you. You was holding me the fuck down. I can't do what you do. One of the episodes, he realized that he can't do the shit that she do. He want to be more involved. He can't even figure it out. And then also as being a primary breadwinner and being an ambitious person, what happens? What suffers because of your ambition? Sometimes your relationship with your family suffers. Y'all want quality. Y'all want exploration of ideas. The shit is there. It's there, y'all. What was y'all watching? More ideas that explore. What does it mean for black content? Why is it that every piece of black content that comes out has to be great, has to be enlightening, has to be everything we need? Why does it have to be that? Why can't it just be bad? I'm a person who watches movies consistently. I done seen a lot of movies from creators. A lot of bad movies from creators. White creators. Because that's the predominant creator in Hollywood right now. The white male. As far as the director and the producer. I done seen a lot of bad content, and that's okay. Sometimes you gotta work through the bad to get to your good. I done made short films. I'm pretty sure I don't want to show people my shit right now. Stuff I made back then, I feel it don't represent me now, but that's okay. Because you gotta make that to get to your next level. And why can't we do that? Why can't we explore things and fuck it up? What was y'all watching? We so hard on our own creators. It's fucking art. It's perspective. It's creation. Everything ain't gonna be a Picasso. I do podcasts. Every podcast ain't perfect. Every moment ain't perfect. But I got some fucking bangers. And those bangers came from me making the first couple that's horrible. Go on the page. Go on the Candace Podcast page on YouTube and scroll down. I left them up there. Some of the video is messed up, y'all. I was trying to figure it out. Audio messed up. We went live. Audio messed up. Messed up audio. But guess what? Kept going. Kept pushing at it. And it got better. And it got better. And it got better. And then we started changing things. Doing things different. Getting new equipment. Like I'm recording on the camera right now. We was recording on a phone. On an 8. On the iPhone 8. On the 6 Plus. On the XR. We was recording on the phone. We recording on cameras now. We got better. We kept pushing. Now, if you judge me just straight off my first one, what you want me to do? You're not giving me the opportunity to grow and be a better creative. All these ideas are being fucking explored in this show. It's 10 episodes. It's not going to change everybody's life. It sparks these conversations, these ideas in your mind. At the same time, laughter. He's silly. They silly. They do silly things. They family talk to each other crazy. One of my favorite scenes, his cousin is pitching him an idea for a movie. He's pushing him off, but the cousin is obviously an intelligent individual. He's extremely intelligent of an individual who gets pushed off all the time, who has a perspective, who is able to see things from a certain perspective. He explored it in the show. 10 episodes. I know this may sound like a commercial now. Kenya Barris is not paying me. Although I would not mind being on his payroll. I will change my name to Justin Ish. That's right. JUSTIN -ISH. Justin Ish. Kenya, call me. But what I don't like as a person who's invested in creativity, particularly in the arts of filmmaking, television show making, writing, all of these different things, I'm very invested. I don't like when people don't give things a chance and they trash them. And then people start piling on. If you read the comments, some people come in, I didn't see it, but, well then shut the fuck up. Shut up. Once you say, I didn't see it, shut up. You didn't even do the research. Imagine if a doctor came into the doctor's office and was like, I didn't read your chart, but I think you got cancer. No. I didn't read the results, but I think you got... No. I didn't read the results, but we're going to perform heart surgery. No, get away from me, doctor. Get away from me. Get away from me. Get the fuck out of here, doctor. You don't want that. So the same thing you don't want for people who are making opinions on stuff that they did not watch, that they did not read, and they also don't have any other background. to even assess some of this shit. Some of it. Assess some of this shit. Okay? If I was you, a lot of y'all at home, give it a chance. Just like Atlanta, every moment is not a hit. There are awkward situations, but that's a part of the show. Insecure, every moment is not a hit, but a culmination comes together and it makes you just love it. And you go on this journey. We've got to give, there's a 10 episodic series, Black AF. Give it 4 before you say shit about it. Trust me, give it 4. And then you can come back. If you come back after 4 and be like, Justin, you a fucking liar. Write it in the comments. I don't care. Write it in the comments. I will like your comment. If you gave it 4 episodes and you didn't find something interesting in this show to keep you going, fine. But if you give it 4 minutes, get out of here. Get out of here. Don't even say nothing. Don't even say nothing. Because that's not enough for anything. There are some things that won't get you in 4 minutes. But trust me, if you give this show 4 episodes, you sit down with an open fucking mind. Don't bring none of that Twitter bullshit into here. Don't bring none of the comments you heard from somebody on Facebook into it. Just sit down and watch and say, I'm watching something that I possibly am not familiar with. But if you like shit like The Office or Curb Your Enthusiasm, this shit is probably right up your fucking alley. You already feel that type of comedy, community and shit. But give it 4 episodes so you can feel and be ingratiated with the tone of the show. When you're watching movies, the beginning is about setting up the premise. If you watch The Goonies is a ridiculous story. It's a fantasy. But you gotta sit through the first couple of minutes so they set up the premise. You watch E.T., they're setting up the world for you. Give this motherfucker 4 episodes to set up the world for you. The world in which this writer and his family is having a mockumentary done by his daughter about them and their life. Give that 4 episodes. If that shit don't work out, come back here to the comments and say, Justin, you a piece of shit liar. Alright? I'm out. Peace.